Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. And in this video, we're going to talk about something very important. Something important because it is going on and it is growing faster and faster in an American society. And it is changing a little bit of the culture that we used to have, or it was more common in this country, and it is going to affect a lot of other factors. And it has roots from the problems that are recently becoming more and more common to people. And really, we can say that they've started to grow or become noticeable or get worse since 2020. And I want to say that not everybody is going to notice it. Not every American is going to be like, oh, I really am experiencing such a thing in today's society or in this new America. And the reason behind it, it's due to the fact that not everybody who come from different countries that really experience this can notice it right away. Like, those of us who are immigrants from a failed states, those of us who are immigrants from these countries with high levels of inflation, those of us who are immigrants or moved here from countries that is kind of separation in between the rich and the poor, and there is really no middle class. People cannot afford houses even though they have good salaries. People's salaries are going up, but the price and the inflation is to the point that they just don't have that hope. And for those of us or those who in those societies have certain things, have certain assets, these houses, these cars, these other properties that due to the inflation and time, they're just like keep appreciating and put them at a different level, you would see that these people are start to slowly hate one another and don't want to basically love their country, love their people. They see and put themselves into wars with one another, where at certain point, just like stealing from one or taking away certain things from another one, like they see something special, they see something unique, and they're like, he's not around, let me grab it. They become sort of common, they become sort of acceptable in those societies. All right, now this is pretty much the roots comes from what we're going to talk about in this video and everything else that I've mentioned so far. So although some of the examples that I provided are kind of extreme, but what I'm trying to say really here, they all have the same roots. And I think it's very important for us to talk about it, especially for those immigrants who are trying to move to the US, or those of us who are living here and kind of noticing it or not realizing what really is going on. And I want to say it's the fact that Americans are going to work, especially the middle class and lower middle class. Those of us who are sitting behind the desks, those of us who are servicing people directly, meaning customer service. However, because of the inflation, because of the situation today in the world, with all the wars going on, with all the inequalities that we are witnessing, like, for example, somebody like Jeff Bezos, who's already rich, has one of the biggest mansions, biggest boats or yachts that a lot of people cannot even afford in their entire living or for generations. Now this guy is opening up another company just going after single family homes and targeting middle to lower class neighborhoods, which makes the houses unaffordable and is $400,000 anything for a billionaire versus somebody who is working hard to put down that 25% or 20% in order to be able to afford to have a home. So his rent money is not just something that he's burning all the time or they are burning all the time, and it's actually going to accumulate into a house where they can grow their family, where they can say, hey, this is my safe place. So that is exactly the root of the problem, and everything else that we are noticing is some of the ramifications, some of the consequences of that. It's that because of the inequalities growing, because of the inflation, because of certain people being now way too rich, and certain people cannot afford the things that they used to, that the average middle class in at least US could afford, like buying a house on an average price of 300,000 to 400,000, buying an average car, being able to save up, being able to not think about, if I have a child, it will cost me probably 1.5 million to just take care of the child, to just spend on the child in order for her or him to grow. Why? Because now everything is more expensive and their salaries haven't gone up as much as it's supposed to keep up with the inflation. So they are kind of behind that train. So this hope that they had of me working, paying my taxes, being a good citizen, doing everything right, not buying a brand new car, buying a used car, and like kind of suffer or not enjoy my life after I graduate in order to be able to put a 20% down and in 5 years or 6 years be able to buy a house, that is kind of flying away or going away or kind of disappearing from a lot of minds. Because now they have to spend more in groceries, they have to spend more in gas, food, everything else. So can they ever save up? And at the same time, because this gas, the food, and everything else is going up, the housing price is also going up. Which makes them wonder if they ever can be able to afford a house. Right? If all these sacrifices that they're making is ever going to be enough. Because the housing is going up in value as well. And so what we're noticing is that these people, they come to work. Us, I shouldn't even say these people, us going to work. Especially if we're lower middle class, especially if we have a bachelor, if we have an associate degree, if we just have a high school diploma and are on that $20 an hour grind, on that $30 an hour grind for that job, we become dispassionate. We start not caring about what we're doing and how we're servicing another person. We start to be angry, not satisfied, not valued for what we're doing. And what's the consequence of that? We're going to unleash it on other people. We're going to unleash it on these innocent people who just showed up into that office because they have a question, because they have some sort of a problem that they're coming to you as a representative of this authority, of that power, in order to get some answers. But because you're not satisfied with your income, you don't give them the correct answer. You mess around. You don't do your job well. And it's going to put that guy even at a horrible situation when they leave the office because they've been treated not so good, with a shame, with a dislike. They weren't given a correct information. So, in a way, it's not really the receptionist who is intentionally hurting another person. Hurting that person that came here to their office to ask for a question or ask for some information about the problem that they're after or trying to deal with. It's not. But because the economy, the wrong actions and persecutions of these politicians that take away a lot of our money for taxes in order to give us a better life, but then they support a country that one doesn't even appreciate, that one says, hey, I'm against this act. It's obvious. Just look at the evidence. They shouldn't be receiving these aids. Just look at the history. They've been a corrupt country. They shouldn't be receiving these aids. I think my people, those people who serve this country and don't have enough money to afford food, to afford housing, Those who were born here and cannot afford food or afford housing, they should be prioritized rather than anyone else for any reasons. I want to have a say about my taxes. The taxes that I'm paying on my paycheck, the taxes that I'm paying at the end of the year, the taxes that I'm paying on my car, the taxes that I'm paying on my gas, the taxes that I'm paying when I go out to have fun, when you already taxed me on my food, on educational system that is broken, and I have to borrow money and pay it back with so much interest. The majority of those monies come from the government. I want to have a say about that money that you're taking away from my paycheck. I want to have a say where it's going, not you, because somebody else just knocked on your door and said, hey, here's 50K, just put it in your pocket and vote this. And there are articles out there that says with as little as, I believe, 10K or more, you can just like buy or basically have a say in a politician's vote. That easy. So people are not just becoming unsatisfied, and Americans are not just becoming unsatisfied with these politicians' actions. That they're saying they're not being valued. That they're saying that there are no laws getting into place as soon as possible that force this corporation to sell single-family homes, to not allow these foreign countries to just buy whatever land they want, however much they want to. I mean, certain states are taking actions towards it, but they don't even live here. But they know this is one of the greatest country, so they've been allowed to just come here and purchase whatever land they want to, right? People are just unsatisfied. They're like, how come you're not seeing this? You're a representative of me, of people. And then on top of that, they have to deal with this inflation. That now they are even questioning, why am I living? Am I gonna ever get to the goal that I wanted for my entire life, to own a house? Should owning a house be a dream of mine? I literally was on the phone with my friend and he was like, man, I don't know, if I don't buy a house right now or even a small condo, will I ever be able to? He's 21, just graduating. Like, that's the question that is going through their head, going through an average American's head. And the consequence of that is these people who are supposed to help us, supposed to help one another citizen, they're just not passionate about that $20 an hour, their work. So they're going to mistreat the individual, another citizen who doesn't even have a power over what's going on, horribly when they come to their office. And that person now has a bad day. He goes out, and God forbid he got into an argument or gets into an accident with another significant of themselves, of their family, or like, they're just driving and hit someone else. How do you think that individual is going to react? Are they going to take responsibility or not going to, no, screw it? Oh, it was your fault. Do you have a dash cam? Do you have a dash cam to prove it? Or no? Oh, yeah, no. He was the one who came into my lane. I wasn't. Are there dash cams to prove it? Are there cameras here? Oh, no? Then yeah, it's my word against yours. But down there, they know they've made the wrong mistake or they are at wrong. But they're not taking up the responsibility in order to resolve the issue and be a good human because they've been hurt. They've been hurt 10 minutes ago when they were in that office. And the guy or the girl or the person who hurt them is not even at fault because in their mind, they're like, oh my God, everything is so expensive. I already put $400 on my credit card to afford groceries. What am I gonna do this month? And this Mr. X with his nice jacket comes in and asks, hey, what should I do about this penal code? How can I resolve it? Who can I reach out to? He has already a house. I don't even have a house. I can't afford my groceries. You see? That's what's been growing in America since 2020. And it's going to get worse. Because of the fiat system and how this entire financial system in the US is based on debt, I don't see any way out. And they're just going to print money. Everything is going to be more expensive. They're just going to raise the minimum wage. So those fools get happy that they're earning now $20. But now they have to pay double digits for a hamburger. And not really understanding what's at root of this problem. So I hope those of us who are trying to migrate here, who come here from different backgrounds, do see this and notice it. And I feel like the best solution that we can offer is that us, people, understand one another and become kind to one another. Whatever that means for you, whatever you can do in your position, I feel like that's the only solution. I hope this video was useful, and until the next one, peace.